Hello and welcome to Über Cinco. Today, we will be providing you with a slightly different experience than to what you are accustomed to, so on and so forth. And empirical verisimilitudes aside, I, Mitch Brinkman, will be acting as our administrator today as Nathan Hennenfent. Say hello, Nathan.
Hello. Yes, hi. Hello.
We'll be hearing our contestant's doctoral defense on why he thinks summer can fuck all the way off. Instead of our classic 1v1 judged by one format, today we will employ a 1v-self format where they are judged, scored, and made fun of by two. So the contestant has a lot more lifting and way more yelling to do to make sure they extract a fair score. The panel, myself and Nathan, will discuss after each defense what they deem fair scoring. A consensus must be reached. No, you cream this one, I'll cream the next. No. Not today, muchachos. Consensus must be reached. So let's get to it. Brian, advocate passionately for your positions and you'll acquit yourself proudly. Sputter out sentence fragments and yell louder to be heard. Well, that might just be the special sauce to Über Cinco immortality. All right, listeners, don't forget to head on over to bizbear.biz or ubercinco.com. It's a beautiful new website, and it is, of course, brought to you by one of our golden legacy sponsors, Brinkerdoo's all-natural dog biscuits. Good enough for you, better for them. When your pup needs better poo, stuff their mouth with Brinkerdoo. And don't forget, everyone, stick around to the end of the show. Even though it's a new format, we're still throwing you a hot little fast five. So come on back to the end, and you'll hear reason summer should be endless. That's right, from myself, Mitch Brinkman. Okay, here we go. Kicking it off, Brian, you're telling us why summer can go jump off a goddamn cliff, fuck all the way off, burn itself to death, whatever you want to call it, why it sucks. Give us your number 5, and we're going to come at you hard. You better defend this well, bud. Go for it.
No problem. I just want to rewind a little bit. You said that you guys would have to be creaming together. I want to know how that's going to work. Who rises to the top?
It was, we have to come to a consensus on the score. I couldn't say, I'll cream number 5, then Nathan will cream number 4, then I'll cream number 3. Can't do that. No.
We'll cream together.
We both have to cream. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, you
simultaneous.
Okay, you're right.
Simultaneous creaming. Yeah. Perfect. That's exactly what I needed to know.
Something Mitch and I have been practicing since we were roommates freshman year of college.
Absolutely. Yep.
The creaming 2022. Mm-hmm. Okay, number 5 reason why I hate summer and it can fuck all the way off.
Yeah.
Chaffing and brim drips is what I'm calling this. All right. Just always constantly covered in water, no matter whether I'm inside or I'm outside. Every single crevice, channel, valley, fold, all leads to one central location of the gravitational pull of my body, which is just below the belt line, slightly above the knees. In that general vicinity, all roads lead to Rome, as they say. All water on every aspect of me leads to this place. And y'all know, I'm a boxer brief guy, all right? I like my cotton.
Yep. Cotton we all knew that, I guess.
Of course.
Yep.
I'm a cotton boy. It feels nice. It's airy.
Quality.
It breathes until it is hit with the liquid from my pores. Now, all of a sudden, this beautiful cotton, nice feeling thing becomes rough sandpaper in between my thighs. Now this quarter cup of water or so that it's holding on to now turns it into this rubbing back and forth on my sack, on my thighs, on my hog, on every single part of that general vicinity starts to rub. Now we have to deal with gold bond budgets and all of this stuff. I'm just making summer cost more money for me. And then it's like usually a nice clean pair of clothes will last a little bit longer. Not in the summer. Summer is a half a day wear. Then I got to do a wardrobe change. I'm not even making it 24 hours in this bad boy because it's sopping wet. I can't do it.
So Summer Brian's basically J-Lo in a music video. You're wet, you're changing costumes, and you're gyrating.
I would say it's more like Britney Spears' Womanizer director's cut. If I had to throw out some sort of music video to compare it to, but that's kind of
delightfully specific.
But on top of that, you guys know I'm a hat guy. I'm a big old baseball cap guy. I love my hats.
Yep.
I Ron Howard it everywhere I go. Problem is when you got a hot head, that liquid can't go down the normal valley, which is usually down the back all the way down to the ass crack. It's got to go out the front. All right. Now it goes to the brim of this hat, which is a nice little folded piece of cardboard. 30 seconds after putting on that hat, you just see the color change from my forehead to the tip. I'm bending over just to tie my shoe, pick up a Frisbee, whatever summer activity the fuckers around me are making me do. And all of a sudden, all this water just starts dripping off my brim. And it gets on my glasses. I can't go anywhere. It's landing everywhere. It's embarrassing, especially if you're in somebody's house. It's just, again, this water problem can't go away. So this is the number 5 reason why summer can fuck off.
Okay. Nathan, you get to ask the first question. I know I kind of asked the first question, maybe potentially, but you take the first stab here since you did win the doll contest.
I have many questions.
Shoot.
I do question the physics of if Brian's doing the dead cockroach because he said all the sweat is heading crotchward. So is he just laying with his feet kicking in the air? So that's. But I'm just going to disregard that one for now. My big question is, what is, and you can do this in gallons, quarts, cups, thimbles full, whatever measurement you feel necessary. What is the difference in sweat accumulation on a day in July versus, say, Christmas Eve?
Oh, we're talking 3 quarts in July to nothing. This is how dramatic we're talking about. We're talking about nearly 0, unless we happen to be in a nursing home where the thermostat's at 88 and someone needs to die. That's another thing. When we talk about
if you're in wool pajamas, you're by the fire, you're drinking hot chocolate, you don't ever have this problem?
No, because I don't wear wool pajamas because it's not 1865. What I do is I just stay in those boxers and have nothing else on, and I'm finally at room temperature, Brian. But it has to be December 25th, just boxers, for me to finally be at a comfortable temperature. That's what I wait for every year. That is my high holiday.
Well, I think we should start with bringing this up is that you do have a temperature that you function best at. So if you inside and outside, if they could all be the same temperature at one time, put a number on
68 degrees.
68 degrees.
That's
everywhere.
hot?
Everywhere.
I thought you would say lower than that.
No, 68. Yeah, if I'm constantly at a 68, we got no issues. But you can hear that alarm. It's above 68 right now, and they're coming to hose me down.
It is.
So they know what Papa needs.
When I think 68 degrees, I think like April 18th or September 25th, Scottie Pippen's birthday.
Yep. Not summer, which is why it's my temperature.
Days. That's a good point. Now, okay, also you mentioned, I just want to poke some holes in this here.
Go for it.
You complain about the hat, but with a hat on, everyone knows the place to keep in the most heat in your body is by putting a hat on, right? The head is regulates the body. So why not just not wear a hat or wear a visor?
A visor is a very, very good recommendation in this point.
For a man who loves gambling as much as you do, a visor would really go well with your lifestyle.
I should do a visor. But we also know I am a balding man, and the sun is not my friend. So now we're adding sunscreen into the mix, and you guys have no idea how much I hate the feel of lotion. So this is why a hat is sunscreen protection. And if I'm not wearing a hat, throw the sunscreen issue out the window. That sweat, no matter what, is going directly into the eyeballs. At least the brim is taking it away from the eyeballs. So I'm not getting that salty seawater right in mis ojos. Okay.
What about like a Panama Jack hat situation where it's light, it's airy, it's got a big brim on it, it's made out of straw perhaps, but it still's got a nice little sweatband underneath soaking up, all those driplets.
I'm willing to try it. I don't think it's going to make my experience any more fond, but I think it will make it a little bit better, a little tolerable, more tolerable for me. So I'm willing to take these. I'm going to write notes right here. I'm going to try these hats / visors.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I think that if you did one of those joke visors with the spiked blonde hair, that might keep in less heat, and it would be also just a fun joke walking around. That
might be fun, but it will have to have prosthetic hair in it. It will have to be horse hair because my hair can't grow long enough to spike anymore. So now we're talking about another mammal's hair on my head already in the high heat. We got some issues of brewing. So.
That's a good point. I mean, horse hair is the best hair out there. I still believe it ranks above human hair personally.
I know I'm fighting against myself, but I'm still playing to the host.
Yeah. No, that's very smart of you. Also, one other question: why not just wear neoprene on your undercarriage? Why go cotton? If you know cotton's gonna deliver this sandpaper massacre, why not just go neoprene or some sort of polyester that's gonna keep everything sliding away?
Yeah, neoprene. Can you use it in a sentence, please?
I work at a factory that makes neoprene.
Yes, that totally helps.
Does that make sense? Is that getting across the message to you at this point?
That changes everything.
I'm glad Brian brought that up because that was a word I've never heard before, and I was fully prepared to pretend like I knew what we were talking about.
Yeah, it sounds like Gore-Tex. Like I should know it, but I don't.
Gore-Tex is also good. I'm pretty sure neoprene is a clothing material, and I don't think it's a cooking material for like pots and pans, but I'm not 100% sure.
I like to be covered in a nice coat of Teflon.
I don't care if I get poisoned by the PFAs over 20 years. That non-stick inner thigh is delightful. Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
Okay, Brian, this is you were talking. This is wet, crevicey. You know, when you're describing all the terrain of your body,
yes,
it immediately made me think about like it'd be really really fun to make like a Western, but ants Western. So ants were the cowboys, and they were riding their horses along your body.
Riding my body, yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I would love to be the fun idea to me.
I would love to be the terrain for this.
So you chose ants because they're very small and then would be in proportion to Brian's body, but then you put them on horses, which are much bigger than Brian. So Brian's just
they're ant horses,
trampled to death by horses.
Okay, wait, hold on. You're right. Ants are strong. Ants can carry things. So maybe we'd do flies riding ants. Ants are
flies,
the horses.
okay.
No, ants riding ants because they can support their own weight.
That's a good point.
There's like the lower class ants being ridden by higher class ants.
That's a great morality tale there. I think you could call it something like a few droplets more, maybe something like that.
I mean, that's award worthy right there.
And they're like, let's get to the peak, and it's just your big puffy nipple that they're just riding to the top of as they see the sunset over your shoulder or whatever. Yeah, that could be fun.
I'm getting emotional. This is really nice.
Okay, time for us to score, Nathan. We need to come to a consensus on this. 1 to 3 points, of course. Classic Über Cinco scoring. I want to give him a 2. What's your initial score?
I had to go. I was going to go lower. I was going to go with a 1. I feel like you brought up too many solutions that he just has refused to try it out of stubbornness.
Yeah.
I think that there's remedies for this. I think that his poor attitude and stubbornness is what's bringing him down here.
My poor attitude and stubbornness is going to be this whole goddamn episode.
Okay. Okay. You do not interrupt the panel when we are coming to a consensus. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Nathan, I enjoy your points, and I really was just giving myself an extra point in there for my Western idea. So you're right. Based on Brian's ideas alone, I think that is a 1-er. So is that agreed upon? Consensus. All right, Brian, you got 1 point for that defense.
All right, I got double creamed.
Not that good. Here we go.
None of this is going to work in my favor because you guys are pro summer, I'm anti summer, and you guys are judging me. I know I need to try.
You got to change our minds. I
know, but I know we're all stubborn men, but we all can agree that a few droplets more is a banger.
Water, bro. Well, that's fair. I mean, come on. All right, Brian. Number 4. What is it of a reason why you just think summer can fuck all the way off?
You can't fix hot. That's my number 4. You can't fix being hot. All right?
I think you can, but go on.
Not really. Now, imagine you're sitting in a room. You're starting to feel a little verklempt. All right? You shed a layer. You take off the top one. Okay, you're sitting in a t-shirt and shorts. And you're like, yeah, I'm still pretty warm. Excuse me. That beer's come up on me over Nipple Ridge. You put the air conditioning down. You put the air conditioning down to a nice 68, maybe 65, because you know what? We really got to get this place cooled down. You are still hot. Now you're still sweating because it is still that goddamn hot outside. It's 95, 100. It's horrible out there. Take the shirt down. You're down to your boxers. You're still fucking hot. You can't sweat it. It's going away. You are in the nude now. You're in the nude. You are still sweating. Yeah. Unless you have access to a cold tap, a cold shower, or a pool. And even a pool, as I learned recently in Florida, can still be hotter than bath water, even when you don't want it to be. You can't cool yourself down. You are, as I like to say, fucked. You can't change your temperature. That's it. You are there. Reverse it. You're cold. You can add layers on. Hopefully, even if you're in that same room, you can pop the heat on. Usually that's enough. Then if you throw on a sweater, sweatpants, wool pajamas, or pop a nice little blankie, snuggie, comforter, you're going to get way more comfortable, way faster in that situation than you will with the reverse. You can't fix hot because there is a finite amount. If you are naked and you are still hot, you're screwed unless you have some other extra thing near you. So that is my point.
But if you're naked and you're hot, you've probably been screwed at some point, you know.
That's true. That's definitely ripe for a double creaming. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the last line of A Few Droplets More. When they reach Boulder Shaft.
We'll have this script finished by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say, you keep talking about wanting to get colder, but you're only willing to go down to 65 on your AC. Why not go down to 55, 62, you know?
I have.
Are you too cheap to pay for the AC? What's going on?
No, Nathan asked me what's optimal. If it's 68 everywhere, I'm never going to have a bead of sweat. So I'm never rising or ebbing and flowing. I'm constantly where I need to be. But if it is hotter than that, yeah, we got to go down to 55 to bring me back to a normal base here. So it's usually where you're combating external forces.
I'm in complete disagreement with you on this one because follow me here. I think summer is the best time to be cold. There is no greater sensation than being hot when it's outside and walking into an air-conditioned house.
No, because that's when you start to sweat. You can be outside in the thickest of humidity or in the driest of deserts, and you're fine. The second you hit that AC, the waterworks start flowing again. So there you go. Fuck that.
No, it's just the best sensation of turning the AC way down. I know it's a huge waste of energy and money and everything, but sleeping in a cold room in the summer, is there anything better than that? Oh, how tasty. And listening to the hum of the air conditioning. Like I can still remember what the air conditioning at my grandparents' house sounds like as it kicks on. Like it's just, I get to fall asleep to that just one more time in the nice 67 degree. My grandpa put in some new air conditioner, like, I don't know, within the last 10 years, not far before he had to move out of the farmhouse. But that place could cool off faster than any other home I've ever known. And it was built, I think, in the year 795. So it was a real marvel of technology, but just sleeping in a nice cold room when you know it's just burning hot outside. Oh, that's great. And or like eating a popsicle in the middle of summertime, just that icy goodness hitting your tongue when everything around you is burning. Oh, yeah. Summer is the best time to be cold.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm a city boy and my AC doesn't run off a fucking John Deere motor. No, that's not what I have here. I got normal frigid air city boy AC. All right. I'm already running the central air with a window unit. I'm already dying on top of that. So the fact that I have to be miserable to get to this place of excitement of You have to be miserably hot in order to get that good feeling of hitting the AC, or you have to be disgustingly uncomfortable to be excited by that popsicle. See, that's the problem I have. To get to those two great moments, I have to go through shittiness, which is the fuckiness of summer. That's the problem I have. Popsicles are great. Hitting AC is great. It's the misery I have to walk through, the 40 days and 40 nights in the desert before I hit that I can't do.
Wow. Okay. Comparing himself to the chosen people.
Yes, I was chosen to be cool.
That's the title of your debut jazz album. Brian Ernst, chosen to be cool.
It's the sequel to A Few Droplets More when they're hit by an ice age when I fall asleep in front of an air conditioner.
I think you'd wear that Panama Jack hat on the cover of that jazz album too. That'd be great. Oh my gosh, there's just you mentioned a cold shower, but I've never heard you ever talk about taking a cold shower. Do you actually cold shower?
I have only cold showered when it is unbearably hot. That is the only time I've ever cold showered.
Which by your logic means about 100 days of the year.
Yeah. No. What did you say, Mitch?
You should be cold showering the majority of the year.
Again, I am not a psychopath, so I don't.
Hold on. Anti-inflammatory purposes, great. Wakes you up, turns your brain on, and then also cold water washes away blood a lot easier than hot water. So that also helps too. So
that is a good point, but
yep.
I'm dealing with a lot less blood these days. Most of my enemies are gone. So
wow. Well, good for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like this is time for consensus. We're going to find it now. Brian, if you speak, no, do not speak. We come to consensus. You wait. Thank you. All right. Nathan, I put my score out there first last time. You will put your score out there first this time.
Well, I'm going to give a reluctant 2 to start the bidding on this one. I do, even though I disagree, I do sympathize because, man, it is hard to sleep in a hot room. I've lived in places without AC, and putting the box fan in the window where you're just blowing more hot air in, and it does nothing. It's white noise is all it is. Hoping that it'll distract you from how hot you are. So I do have some sympathy for Brian on this one. So I would go 2.
Sure. I recently went to a music festival, a sleepaway music festival, first ever.
A sleepaway one? Oh, wow.
Yep.
Which music festival?
Hinterland Music Fest. It was a good time in just outside Des Moines, Iowa. And it was 95 degrees every single day there. Felt like 105 on the heat index. At night, it got down to 84. So It was, I've never been so wet for so many days in a row, not due to a shower. So I'm hearing Brian on this. I can feel his pain. I've seen this pain on him before too. I mean, like we've sweated, we've toiled together before in the summer heat. And I'm reluctant to say this, but I will give him 2 points. And I think we can come to a consensus on that. Do you agree, Nathan? Consensus. Right. Okay, good. Nice. Brian, you got 2 points on that one. Good for you, bud. Great job. All right. All right. Number 3. Toss it our way. Your number 3 reason that you just fucking hate summer and shit,
Yeah, another reason why summer could eat the biggest, saltiest, frothiest bag of manure. We'll keep it in the farm.
Sure. Yep.
Speaking of the farm, yard work.
Ugh.
Can you think of a more, I should say, less exciting chore? Is there anything like doing the dishes sucks?
Doing grandma's nails.
Doing grandma's nails, a little trim job, that sucks. Yeah. Doing laundry blows, especially if you live on a 3rd floor. Come on. You don't want that shit. But there's nothing that sucks more than having to deal with sharp shard weeds, little pieces of Velcro plant, disgusting bugs and nasty dirt, and all this shit that kind of comes up in the fucking, oh God, dirt sucks.
Dirt is so gross. It's so dirty, that dirt is. It's such a dirty dirt.
Yeah, I'm losing my words how mad I am. But there is nothing like yard work is basically exercise. Like, fuck that. Don't want that, first of all. 2, the longer you postpone it, the more white trash you look to your neighbors. And the good thing is like that bar keeps lowering in my brain. Like I don't give a shit how I look to my neighbors the more this goes on, which is why the lawn looks trashier and trashier every week. I come up with new excuses. But it's just like, fucking having to, if the grass is too high, sometimes you got to do 2 passes. Now, am I just doing a mulch? Am I just doing a bag and drop? I got to do fucking both sometimes. Then you got to edge trim. Then you got to constantly spray for weeds. And if the things get too long in the fucking front, then you have ant problems because now they can climb up the plants over Nipple Ridge, down Boulder Shaft. They're just getting in through there. It's a whole mess. Sometimes I got these gross little berry things that starts to grow, like these berries that you can't eat, but then they just start fucking growing off of weeds. And then they just start staining the porch, and I have to deal with all of that. And then,
Jesus,
then my back hurts when I do it. It sucks because you got to hold the edge trimmer, the weed whacker, at that one specific angle for it to fucking cut along the sidewalk the right way. So you're constantly holding it in this weird, like you're carrying a steady cam. You got to walk with that weird little crab walk as you're going down the yard. And then you just sit there, and it's like you feel great after it's done. Once you see it clean, it's great. But the lead up to seeing that and actually having to complete it, I compare it to like, it's great to have written, but writing blows. Like you don't want to you want to see it done. It's great and it looks better, but it just fucking sucks so much. Everything about a lawnmower and flowers and all that shit, I don't care.
Okay, so then here, I feel like this is a pretty big moment for you to say this out loud because you do come from enamored yard horticulturalist, savant Rick Ernst.
Yes.
Would he be very sad to hear you say this?
My lawn is his greatest disappointment, for sure. Hands down, biggest embarrassment to his entire upbringing of myself. Yes.
It's not your sense of humor?
No. Wait till he sees a few droplets more, I swear to God. It'll be my Schindler's List. I don't understand why he has this. I don't know where he gets it from, where he can actually focus in, beat himself to death, basically. He doesn't wear sunscreen. He's on his hands and knees. The man's got 3 herniated discs, and he's still out there fucking pulling weeds and planting flowers as my mom sits in a chair with her hands in a pot pretending she's helping. Like, she's like, I filled this one pot. And he's like, yeah, well, I just did the whole yard. And she's like, okay, cool. Now put this in the highest place where you can't reach because it'll look nice. And don't forget to water it 3 times a week so I can keep looking at it from the house. Yeah. So that's kind of like, so maybe that's what I saw. I was like, man, nobody appreciates this work. So I'm just not going to do it.
Well, didn't you appreciate the work as a kid?
I mean, after it was done, it was great. But then when I saw what went into it, I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'd rather just live with the consequences of everyone thinking I'm a shitty person. Because I kind of am when it comes to that.
Now, when you say your yard is feeling or looking more white trashy by the week, are you, when you're going to cut the lawn, are you like breaking your lawnmower because you're running over hubcaps in the deep grass? Is there like, cat carcasses you're discovering? I have discovered
a rat head. Just the head of a rat was left over. That was that. I cut down a 7.5 foot tall weed that has been there for 18 months last week. I did that finally.
That's taller than you.
It is. I mean, it's better. It's bigger than Nathan's wingspan. I mean,
oh my God.
I've got vines that are crawling up the garage right now that I kind of got to rip down. That's a whole problem. I had a vine that went through a window and started circling itself around the battery charges for my lawnmower. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
They were coming for you. Wow.
Shouldn't leave your windows open.
It wasn't open. I don't know how the vine got through something. It got through the wall. So that's
Jumanji. Actually quite terrifying.
Yeah, Jumanji.
That it chose to go through a closed window towards the one thing that is its natural enemy.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like
that's like the beginning of a horror movie.
I fear it. I don't respect it. I should, but I don't.
I have a question for both of you.
Yes.
Yep.
Have you ever run over a snake while riding on a riding lawnmower?
I have never ridden a riding lawnmower.
I have not run over a snake. Is it awesome? Is it cool? Is it like a shower of blood? What happens?
It's terrible. it's just awful. Everything
Does
about
it make
it is
a
terrible.
noise? Is it like or like a weird? I don't know.
Yeah, does the snake
it's-
sound like a cat?
It tried to jump out of the way, but it was too late. And I didn't know it was there until it tried to jump out of the way, and then I heard a as it went through the process of being chopped up.
Cut up. Yeah.
We talking about a gardener steak or like a full-on boa?
But I didn't run over a boa constrictor.
You didn't run over. It was like somebody's pet boa that got out. Okay.
No. This was it was just some snake that was at my grandma and grandpa's farm. So it was fairly small, but
one of those Illinois.
But
snakes.
oh dear God, it was just one of the worst moments I could ever have imagined to have to live through, especially since I was like 14.
My mom can attest to this. She did something similar with a frog.
Oh
yeah. So she started going towards the thing. She hit it, and you heard, and then that's how the frog died.
Yeah, that makes sense. What are three animals that you'd be happy to run over with a lawnmower? Because I got it right now.
Actually, if I had to rank them, snake would be right up there. It's still not fun, but I'm glad it was a snake and not like the family dog.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah. I would hope it's not someone's family dog. I wouldn't. Even I would have no soul. Wouldn't want that. Jesus.
I mean, when Brian, you said possums are up there. Rats, definitely kill them all.
Possum, rats.
And then Asian carp as well. I would say that invasives. I mean, somehow they're obviously on the grass and not in the river. But if I could run them over, I would.
I'm gonna go just a fucking giant fleet of cicadas.
Oh, that's a good one.
How about the huntsman spider?
Ooh, yeah. Think how loud that would be.
Just like a big hum as it just.
No, it would probably still sound like. That's what they all sound like, right?
All animals sound like cats when they're getting chopped up.
Yeah, I was like, are we still talking about? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what possum sounds like, duh.
Wow. Oh, it's also very cool during this when you guys have both referenced later themes in the show. Interesting. We'll have fun with that later on. Very cool. Okay, I think number 3, time for us to come to a consensus.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say yard work is onerous. It does take a lot of it is a lot of lifting for hopefully somewhat of a good yard. I used to have to cut the grass as a young man. I had to do it. I was forced to do it. Didn't love it. Only time I liked it was when a young lady was walking by and I could show off my spin or my turn, at the end of a row, like a one-handed turn with the mower. So I'm going to give you 2 points on this one personally. That's my initial give.
At least you had that cool look where you actually look cool.
Do not speak. We are coming to a consensus. Thank you very much. Not your turn to speak. Sorry.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I was actually going to go with 3 points.
3 points.
I can relate to this a lot, and this is turning out to be a very farm-centric episode, but
It is.
On a given summer week, I would have to mow my parents' yard with the hand mower, the push mower. And then I would have to go out to the farm and mow the 2.5 acre property at my grandparents on the riding mower, which was, I think they had tinkered with to make slower than it normally would have because my grandma thought it went too fast and it wasn't safe. And she made sure we wore safety goggles and all. Just it was a whole production.
No rabbit for goggles. Nathan, only turtle.
Yeah. And then I would have to do the weed whacking and then the hedge trimming out there on the farm. And I remember one time I had the hedge trimmer for so long that I went in and I had a glass of water at the kitchen and I picked it up and it looked like I had a legitimate essential tremor where I couldn't even drink water without spilling it on myself because my arms were still out there holding the hedge trimmer. And then this goes beyond the scope of yard work, but it's essentially the same type of labor. Is we had to walk beans. Either of you ever walked beans?
No.
Never walked beans?
Well,
here's how you walk
before,
beans.
but
you take like legitimately what's a poor man's sickle. It's a stick of wood, and it has like a little tiny blade on the end, like maybe about as big as a staple. This thing is tiny and useless. And you walk out into the soybeans in a row of like, I don't know, there were like 5 or 6 of us, me and Uncle Frank and my sister and my cousin. I don't know how many of us there were. And you walk out in the beans, and soybeans, as you're driving past them, don't look that tall. They're actually, once you get out there, like for me, even I was 14, so I was almost 6 feet tall, still almost coming up to your armpits.
Wow.
And if you think you want to talk about getting wet, the dew you get out there early and the dew is still there because you're trying to beat the heat. And so these things are soaking, and then you're soaking and you're trudging through them, and the plants are growing together, and you're getting stuck and you're hacking away at the weeds. And this is an 80-acre field you're tackling. That is walking beans. That is a thing that I did. I can't fucking believe that that's a thing that I did. But that turned me off yard work forever.
6 hours in a row, or was it like 2 hours on, come back next week, do it again for 2 hours? What was
I only had to do it a handful of times, but yeah, it was many hours we were out there. Like, I think it was, we tried to get done by noon because it was going to be really hot at that point. And, so we would only do like 4-hour stints, but it was something that like my dad and his brothers talked about because apparently they did it on the regular. I mean, this must have been, before pesticides or not pesticides, herbicides and more modern agricultural techniques. But I did it like a handful of times and it was awful. So I have all the sympathy in the world for anybody who doesn't enjoy yard work because that was the extreme form of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Nathan, your story is kind of pushing me towards a 3 now, but I think I'm still solid on the 2. Can we meet in the middle perhaps? Can we say 2.5?
I'm happy with the 2.5.
You're happy with 2.5? Okay, consensus has been made. Brian, you scored a 2.5. Consensus.
Accepted.
That brings your score up to 5.5 out of 9 right now. So doing pretty good. I think technically that would pass a class with somewhere like a middling D, perhaps.
D's get degrees.
That's true. Middling D, my nickname in college. Okay. Number 2, Brian, give that to us, please.
Mm-hmm. Mine was Walking Bean. Walking Bean here. Walking Bean Brian. My number 2, I think, is going to cause a little controversy here because Nathan was talking very pro this, and I'm going to call this the Frion Frills. Now, AC is one of the best inventions ever created by God or man. Now, we can all come to the consensus on that. But the only way to truly sleep during this hellhole of a season is to constantly be surrounded by cold yet moving air. You need a fan from the ceiling. You need a box fan. You need what's being pushed through the central air units on the floor. You need what's coming through the window unit. This needs to be constantly moving cold air. Now, you have a question?
You just said central air vents and window unit? You're doing both at once?
That's how I sleep. That's the only way to cool off an upstairs bedroom.
Cripes, that's so much air.
This is a thing you're actually doing?
Yes, try and sleep in the upstairs bedroom with only central air and a ceiling fan, and you'll die.
I just lived in an apartment without AC for 5 years.
Even with central air in this old house, upstairs, with the vents closed in all the other upstairs rooms, so it's only coming into that room, still can't get it below 74, 75 degrees to sleep in there. That's not cold enough. That's not cold enough to sleep. And then I put a window unit in that I set to 62 that finally brings the room to about 67.
Wow.
That's how
That is.
yeah.
What's your electric bill like?
I was just about to ask that. What is your energy bill per month?
It's high. It's real high.
Like
and it's
150s, 200s?
Like, do you have to cancel HBO in the summer? Like,
No, definitely 200 easily, because it is worth every fucking penny.
200?
Yes.
200 for how many months out of the year?
2 or 3.
Holy fuck! That's so wow.
I'd pay 400. I wouldn't give a shit. I would find it. I would do Uber. I would fucking get a third job. I would fucking find it. I would fucking walk beans if I had to, in order to make sure that AC was on and kept that room at 67.
See, he agrees with me because he understands the contrast between the heat of walking beans to that cool air and how delicious it would be. See, I got him. Hoisted on his own petard.
Too bad you've already had the consensus on the other one, so I'm going to move on.
Son of a gun.
What's worse here is that this moving air needs to be constantly going, so it needs to be cold enough so you can sleep. But then if it's too much, the air is completely dry. Now you're waking up with either a runny nose, a sore throat, or all this, and now you're making yourself sick in the middle of summer too, which really blows. But it's still better than not sleeping. I would rather be sick, coughing post-nasal drip, ruining everyone else's summer, which would make me so happy. I would rather be doing that than not sleeping in a 67-degree room.
Wow. Being sick in the summer is bullshit. I'll give you that.
It is bullshit. Because when I finally get that 65-degree day at sunset with no humidity and a nice breeze, I can't even enjoy that because I'm sick.
Yeah.
And those are rare.
I never get sick. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm doing right. But I never get sick. It's so weird.
Fucking shit. We hear your nose run all the time. You just are constantly used to sniffling that you don't know you're sick.
That's the
just
cocaine.
allergies.
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's allergies. That's what sick people say.
It's just allergies or as Nathan said.
How is allergies not a form of being sick?
Because it's not it's because it's not, and sick is a one-time thing that happens and then goes away. Allergies are with me. They're my dark.
Which just means you're sick for all of lifetime.
Well, some would say, like my mother would say, you've been sick in the head since you could talk.
That's not very nice.
Well. She thinks I'm a little devil, I'm just a little devil boy, just out here being a naughty little cat running around saying
he's been read from the top down since the day he came out.
Well, that too. Brian, you've left me a bit befuddled here. My words can't be found. I'm surprised. I'm a bit shocked for everything you've told us here about your Frion Frills. I understand. I love a cold room. I myself sleep in one. I myself leave the windows open during the winter to get my room really cold. I love it that much.
Yes.
Delicious.
You did fail to mention though about you mentioned all these things to help you get cool or stay cool, or heat up to you. I know you ran down your list of that, and you never mentioned another person. Sometimes a human body is all you need to emotionally and physically stay warm. So I just want to put that out there. I want you to, kind of put that in your brain box and think about that.
That is great. But another thing I have to do in summer is kick that warm body that's next to me as far fucking away from me as possible so I can get some shut-eye. Because you've never spent a night with what I spend a night with. And she's a fucking nuclear fission reactor. All right? She needs nothing. She needs no food, no sustenance, no anything. And she will radiate out pure fucking energy. And she will heat up her sheets and the blanket, everything around her. It'll be 65 degrees in there. And I will pull the blankets off. Her back is red hot to the touch. No matter
Jesus.
what. And that rolls over and touches you in the middle of the night. Instant sweat. Instant.
Instant. If we transcribe this and you couldn't hear the tone of voice Brian is using, this might sound like the biggest compliment anybody's ever given somebody.
It ain't. It's horrible. And it's the same thing. No matter where she sits in any season, her sister used to complain about this. She would sneak into her sister's room, play Sims on the laptop on her bed, and then leave. Her sister would come in looking for nice, cool sheets to sleep at night, and she's laying in a furnace. It's unbelievable because it stays. Not only does she generate it, it literally endothermically absorbs into anything that's around her. It's like the laws of thermodynamics do not even compare to this woman's skin.
Anytime I've dated somebody who I could confidently say they set the sheets on fire, I always thought of it as a very, very good thing.
This is a very, very not a compliment. And I will tell her this. She will get this. She will get this clipped and delivered to her cell phone. And all I'm going to get is a thumbs up or a little sorry face back because she fucking knows it.
Well, okay. After that incredible rant, I think it's time to find a consensus here. So, boy, score. What should we score? Nathan, do you have an idea yet on yours?
You know, I disagree so strongly, yet I do feel Brian made a pretty compelling case. I have to give him credit there. Yeah. So I was thinking initially, I was thinking a 2, depending on your thoughts.
Yeah. I was at a 1. I was at a 1 kind of frame of mind, but his beautiful little rant about this nuclear fission reactor that he sleeps next to on a nightly basis, really, it warmed my heart. And it also gave me some good chuckles. So I'm going to kick mine up to a 2, actually. So that's where I'm at with mine. So
consensus.
Consensus 2. Nice job, Brian. You scored a 2 on that one. You're hanging tough there, buddy. You're really defending your thesis here on why summer can fuck off very, very nicely. Yes. So now it's time for you to deliver the final nail in the coffin. Nail it home. Bring it on back to the starting point. Give us everything you got. Full barrels.
Easy. The number one reason why summer is a piece of shit season. Yep. People. They're out. They're out. They're everywhere. They don't go away. Sure. They leave their houses and they come outside to where I want to not be either, but I'm forced to be there, and therefore they are there. So if I'm at least going to be dragged to these fucking hellhole occasions, they shouldn't be there. But they're all there to try and have some happiness. We're talking about beaches, the stupidest place on earth, covered in fucking sand. And you can't get it off of you. There's stupid water that has stupid things in it that are going to kill you, whether it's fucking bacteria in a lake or a shark in an ocean. Either way, it's fucking stupid. And then you have all these people getting covered in it. The sun is there. That's dumb. You have drunk people in their bodies that I don't want to see blocking the view. The only good thing about being there, they're in my way. Fuck them. I want to enjoy a nice meal. I just want to go sit outside. Yeah. I can either do that and sweat my balls off, or I have to deal with a place that has great food, but oh no, you don't take reservations for sitting outside. I'm waiting in a hot line next to people who I don't want to see to go sit outside and sweat where I don't want to sweat, to pay at a premium for food that I could have gotten at home, or an overpriced cocktail that's just filtered with extra juice, which, I love fruit, but I want booze at this point because I don't want to fucking be here. You go outside to a place like Florida or anywhere else where the humidity is just 100% all of the time, and you got to cut through it with a knife. Nathan doesn't like that. And so you have people's hot breath on top of that going through that. People talking, people lining up. Amusement parks. You didn't even think about that. The lines are waiting in there. I'm sitting there on a bench holding all these purses while everyone else gets to go on the roller coasters because I'm in charge of the fucking Great America shit. That happens.
Wait, is that because wait, are you anti-Disney as well then? Is that what you're saying?
I'll go in December when it's 85. Oh, at least that's tolerable. Fucking year-round summer. That's bullshit. On top of that, we got traffic because everyone's out and driving. The commutes are horrible. All of that's happening. You want a nice beverage, you got to fucking lug a cooler. Now I got to clean out this thing that I fucking left in the backyard all summer. Got to Lysol that down so I don't get botulism. Then I got to go to the store to get water that's frozen to put it in there to keep my drinks cold. And now I got to fucking carry this heavy thing with a wheel that's busted up into my car and then across the fucking sand just to enjoy a beverage that gets warm in 30 seconds. Do I need that? No. Summer break fucking sucks. No one's in school. Everyone's out. Family's on summer vacation. Go away. Everyone, leave me be. Pandemic was the greatest thing that ever happened. I wish that would come back and just I could drive pandemic traffic is the greatest I've ever felt. I got in a car. There was nobody out there. Nobody. And I got to go wherever I want, whenever I wanted. The whole death thing really sucks. Sorry to all those people. But everything else about it was wonderful. Wonderful.
Wow. Brian, have you always hated summer to this? Like as a kid, did you just hate everyone everywhere all the time as well? Like at your music?
The only thing that has
summer
changed,
camps?
I never went to summer camp ever. Never. Okay. That was never a thing. But summer vacation was great as a kid. Not going to school was awesome. Yeah. But looking back, I know how terrible that was for us as a species. So that's the only thing I would change. But yeah, summer blows. Everything about it is just awful.
The original summer vacation for schools was all because farmers needed their kids home to harvest,
to
right?
work,
Basically.
yeah,
to walk
bringing
beans.
it back down, walk beans, bring it back home,
pick rocks,
and run
walk
over
beans, run over snakes. You were talking about the beach, and all I could think about was you showing up wet already to the beach, of course, because it's a long walk from the car. Mm-hmm. And you like maybe there's like a hole in the sand you don't see, and someone's talking to you, so you fall and you roll in the sand. So now you're like a sand covered little nugget there on the ground. And then that made me think of a sequel to A Few Droplets More.
Hold for joke.
The Burnt, the Loud, and the Sandy. There we go. Found it. There it is.
I love it. I love it. He found it, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
Very
there
nice.
we go. It took me a while. So yeah, I want to see a series of westerns set on your body. That's just all. that's what I've taken away from this episode.
We're gonna call it A Handful of Hairs.
Oh, that reminds me of the game we used to play that I enjoyed very much, odd or even, where I would just grab hair from your chest and rip it out, and then you'd have to guess odd or even, and then I would count the hairs that I ripped out.
Here's what's fascinating about my body is I could go like this with my hand, take a whole fucking chunk of hamburger meat of hair, have tons of hair in my hand, keep doing it, and my chest will never look different. It's like it grows as fast as it rips. It's crazy. Which is number 3. It grows as fast as it rips. Third of the trilogy.
We need to make posters for these hypothetical movies.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
We finally got an update to the t-shirts in the store. Here we go.
Nipple Ridge. That's the last stand of the hero in the film. Okay, I think it's time for consensus. Brian, your passion was just wonderful for me. It struck me to my core. Although I didn't initially agree with you, just you acquitted yourself beautifully in this number 1. I would like to give you a 3. Nathan, where are you sitting at?
Well, Brian, you have one individual to thank, and that is a pit bull named Mabel. So about 2 weeks ago, I went to the beach. I was going to go for a little run, and then I was going to stick my toes in, maybe wade out in there and enjoy the water on a hot summer's day. Oh. And I was near the border of where the dog beach meets the normal beach.
Oh,
and they have some of the weather fencing that goes out. It goes out partially into the water. But the thing about dogs is they don't understand the border between the dog beach and the human beach.
Yeah.
So there was Mabel,
so dumb.
This pit bull, and Mabel's owner was, well, Mabel liked running to the other side and picking up people's shoes and whatever that was laying there, beach towels, whatever. And it was literally 15 straight minutes of Mabel, come here, Mabel. And so after like the 7th time, she would go back to her owner And then sure enough, she would just do it. Mabel. I was like, God damn it, lady. Take Mabel the fuck home. She's clearly going to keep doing this over and over and over. But this lady, no, my dog's special and I need to take it to the dog beach. We had a little fun play date planned where it's just two ladies going to the beach, me and Mabel. Haha. So fuck Mabel. And Brian, you've convinced me. Fuck Summer. So 3 points.
Wow.
Thank you.
There it is. Good for you, bud. That's 3 on number 1, 2 on your number 2. That's 5, 2.5 on your 3. That's 7.5. I'm doing fast math here. 2 on your 4. That's 9.5. And then 1 on your 5. So that's 10.5. 10.5 out of 15. Brian, that is above a 66%. I don't know the exact percentage, but that means you are passing today, my friend, because guess what? Dissertations are pass-fail on Über Cinco. So, my friend, you have successfully defended your thesis on why summer can go fuck all the way off. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You can feel confident continuing to hold these beliefs and these thoughts confidently. Very good. Very good to you, sir. Okay, guys, now it's time for the Fast Five. Here it is. Fast Five reasons summer should be endless. Okay, number 5. Here we go. Those little patches of freckles that appear on cuties' cheeks after a week away at the shore. Right? Yeah, very cute. Number 4.
Not worth it. Still rather have AC.
Okay, all right. Number 4. When your cousin Derek cleans out Slap Dive Hard the Goldfish's bowl and uses it to house a surprisingly potent rum concoction from Grandma's canned cherries, Dole pineapple juice, and the last can of Mountain Dew Code Red from the door. Number 3.
Approved.
Did you just abbreviate concoction to concoct? Just checking.
Yeah, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
All right, carry on.
Sometimes you don't have the time for all the syllables.
God,
you know,
we've spent more time describing that. Concoct.
Number 3. When the bottoms of butt cheeks poke out of a short and say, "Take a picture. It'll last longer." Number 2. When you think you've lost your sunnies, but turns out they're on your dome waiting to cover your peepers again. Classic homeward bound situation, my friends. And number 1, when the cicadas or crickets' eternal hum all becomes too much as you try desperately to doze off during yet another sweltering evening in Savannah. And yes, there's AC, but deep down, you're not entirely sure how loud they really are. Perhaps it's just your mother's voice back there reminding you maybe it wasn't smart to put all your life savings into a popsicle business and move to a state you'd never been to before. And so to distract yourself, you get out of bed and enjoy another thyme lemon choke cherry sickle to quiet the hum. And you remember, popsicles are good and cold. And that's this week's edition of Über Cinco. Please rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts. And once again, we love that hearty wham, word of mouth. So please tell your friends, send them your favorite episode. Maybe one of the new batch, guys. One of these new fivers, after the 100 was done. Thank you to my fellow panelist,
Nathan Hennenfent.
Thank you, sir. And, oh man, the guy who can deliver the best monologues about fucking sand. I've been Mitch Brinkman. As Biz Bear always says, bells don't work on a hike. Now my friends and I can just coordinate our attack. Auf Wiedersehen and adios.
You've just listened to Über Cinco, a production of UBK Studios. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your fine podcasts from.
If you like what you hear and want to support the show, please visit our Patreon site at patreon.com/UBK Studios. Every little bit helps us keep the lights on and the bill collectors at bay.
Keep tabs on us on all the social media at UBK Studios, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see that we really are just a bunch of good Midwestern boys.